So my name is Tiffany Toxie. I'm a wedding and event planner. I plan weddings. I have one package. It's a wedding day success package. And I also have an entrepreneur package for those that are starting their business and want to get their brand out there and have an event to launch their brand. Now I have signature favors that I just started. They're bath salts. I also have candles as well. And these favors are great with many benefits. So as you can see, they prevent blood clots, reduce inflammation, tire achy, soreness. It does all that. So it's great. It's packaged well, so you can get this as a favorite to any of your event packages. You can reach me at www.tiffanytoxie.com, email info@tiffanytoxie.com, or by phone, which is 470-774-6607.
Good evening. I'm here showcasing my paparazzi accessories. My name is Felicia. I'm just a girl changing the world, $5 at a time. All of these lovely accessories are only $5. And you can get these lovely accessories at paparazziaccessories.com 93388. Thank you.
Hey, I'm CJ Brown, and my business is CJ Brown Collections. We're a fashion-forward brand out of Arkansas. We specialize in men and women's silk accessories, like scarves, ties, bow ties, handkerchiefs, and bow ties. You can visit my website at www.cjbrowncollections.com. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at CJ Brown Collections as well. And the one thing special about these items is it features my artwork. Then 100% silk.
Hi, I'm Heidi from Heidi's Hobbies, and my specialty here is shea butter and Epsom salt and burning oils. And tonight I'm here having a good time. And what are you smelling right now?
Right now I'm smelling the orange pineapple.
Orange pineapple burning oils. Delicious. You like that? So our specialty in infusing essential oils into the Epsom salt, and also different scents for your shea butter. This is our whipped shea butter. It's nice and creamy. It feels real good on your feet. Thank you. Oh, and my website is www.heidishobbies.com. Come see me.
Don't know me, my name is Latree Peoples. My company is Dynamic Network. I specialize in administrative business services for established firms. One of my passions is networking. I like to bring those of us that had entrepreneurial spirit and have started out on that venture to be able to be self-employed, bring us together and kind of network and just kind of get a part of the service out there. I know how hard it is sometimes for people to get out and they doing whatever it is they say. So what I did, I invited Mr. Larry Scott here from the Department of Office of Contract Compliance for the City of Atlanta to speak with you all, let you know about contracting opportunities with the City of Atlanta. So I'm just going to turn it over to Mr. Scott and let him.
Thank you so much. All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
I'm absolutely thrilled to have this opportunity to come and talk with you. I want to bring you greetings on behalf of our forward-thinking and visionary leader in the city of Atlanta. I'm speaking, of course, forgive me for turning my back. I'm speaking, of course, of the Honorable Mayor, Zen Reed. As you all know, he's rounding third and headed home as far as his administration is concerned. He served 2 terms, which is the maximum that a mayor can serve. And whether you agree with his personal delivery or not, there will be no one that can dispute that he should go down on the Mount Rushmore of mayors for the accomplishments that he's had during his tenure in terms of the advancements in the city of Atlanta. Now, why am I here today? Because I have a vested interest to go wherever I can to come before people and talk to them about opportunities in the city of Atlanta. I serve as the director of the City of Atlanta Mayor's Office of Contract Compliance. The Mayor's Office of Contract Compliance is responsible for the administration of the city's diversity and inclusion program. Now, a lot of people don't know that in the city of Atlanta, there's a mandate vis-a-vis an ordinance, which means it's not optional. You have to on all City of Atlanta contracts that have an expected value of $100,000 or greater, and they're not sole source or emergency or some type of special contract. Whoever wins that contract has to demonstrate to the City of Atlanta that they have subcontracted a percentage of the value of that contract to small, minority, female, or disadvantaged businesses. No ifs, no ands, no buts, no exemptions, no let's skip over it this time. It is mandated in the City of Atlanta. Well, why is that? We are not spending our own money. We're spending taxpayer dollars. And because we're spending taxpayer dollars, that process has to be transparent. All right? And so in the City of Atlanta, we have goals for participation on all City of Atlanta contracts. And so those goals are established by a legal disparity study. If the City of Atlanta was to just wake up one day and say, you know what, we think 30% sounds like a good number. Let's make majority-owned business give away 30% of their contracting dollars to minority female-owned businesses, we'd be in court like that. So in order for us to mandatorily require companies to subcontract portions of their dollars, we had to do a legal disparity study. That means that we got a third-party independent consultant who's not connected to the City of Atlanta to come out, canvass our 20-county metropolitan area to determine, well, how many minority or female-owned businesses are open and available to do work? This many. Well, how many minority or female-owned businesses are actually getting opportunities? This many. Well, if you got this many people open and available to do work, and you got this many people actually getting opportunities, how do you account for the delta between this and this? What I've just demonstrated to you, ladies and gentlemen, is racism. The delta between here and here are the artificial barriers that keep people from having an equal, fair opportunity at contracts. Now, I'm not here today to guarantee anybody that they're going to automatically get a contract. But what I want to share with you is the things that you can do to position yourself to be in the best position to win these contracts. Well, Larry, why is this important to me? While people are walking around here in the City of Atlanta talking about ain't no opportunities and ain't no money, the City of Atlanta is giving out billions of dollars in contracts every year. I didn't say millions, ladies and gentlemen. I said billions with a B. In our last fiscal year, the City of Atlanta contracted $2.4 billion in public contracting dollars. And of that $2.4 billion, the Mayor's Office of Contract Compliance was successful in subcontracting 33.34% of that to small, minority, and female-owned businesses. Let me say that one more time for emphasis. $2.4 billion worth of contract, 33.4% of that went to people that look like us. And if there was not an ordinance within the City of Atlanta, then those achievements would not happen. How can I say that, Larry? Because if you drive 5 miles outside of the City of Atlanta, the diversity and inclusion participation drops to the floor. In the City of Atlanta, we have diversity and inclusion because it's mandated. Now, the City of Atlanta just can't do a disparity study one time and those results last infinitum. Every 3 to 5 years, we got to go pay a lot of money for a third-party independent consultant to go out, canvass the area to tell us what a lot of us already know. Guess what? It's racism in the City of Atlanta. You kidding me? And so every 3 to 5 years, we have to go out and do that third-party independent consultant. They give us the parameters by which we establish the goals. Now, let's talk about how the program works. People should look at the City of Atlanta like any business. If you name it, the City of Atlanta buys it. If you do catering, we need people to put tires on the cars. We need somebody to provide body cameras for the police officers. I think that's real popular right now. We need somebody to come in and teach our fire and police people Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. We need caterers. When I have a business meeting, I might want to do some barbecue one day. I need to have somebody give me some barbecue when I do cater. We need people to do architecture. We need people to do engineering. We need people to build stuff. We need folks to give us copy paper and ink pens and uniforms, shoes, you name it, the City of Atlanta procures it. And it's not our money, it's your money, so you have the opportunity to participate in the City of Atlanta's diversity and inclusion programs by mandate. when we put out something for public bid and the people that are bidding on it tell us how they're going to do it, how much money they're going to charge us to do it, they also have to tell us, and of the money we pay them, how much of that are they going to subcontract to small minority and female businesses. We vet that information, and if it passes our muster, then we are going to approve them to continue forward in the procurement process. If they do not demonstrate to my office that they have made a good faith, non-discriminatory outreach effort aimed at meeting or exceeding the diversity and inclusion goals, we will not award them the contract. It's not optional. Good faith, non-discriminatory outreach efforts. What does that mean? That means that if I put a goal on a contract saying I need 20% minority and 10% female in this contract, and they don't meet the 20% minority and 10% female, they have to at least demonstrate to me in written documents what all they did to try to get to the 20 and 10. Alright? What did you do? Oh, I had an open house at my business and I brought in the community and showed them all the plans, asked them to bid. I took out a newspaper ad in Mundo Hispanico or some ethnic-based newspaper to tell everybody, hey, we got this bid and we solicited minority and female-owned businesses to bid with us on it. What did you do to try to meet that minority or female-owned business opportunity? Now, Larry, you've been talking blah, 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 blah. How can I get in? All right. The registration for the City of Atlanta's Minority and Female Small Business Programs costs $3.99. Zero. All it takes is a two-step process. The first step is for you to obtain a City of Atlanta supplier ID. Why is that important? Because the City of Atlanta supplier ID is what we use to pay you. You want to get paid, right? So you need to get a City of Atlanta supplier ID, all right? I, as a direct level employee, can pick up the phone and order stuff pursuant to my budget. If I know I need copy paper, and I know that Staples sells copy paper, I cannot pick up the phone and call Staples if they don't have a City of Atlanta supplier ID, even though I know they sell copy paper. Can't call it. We have to do business with firms that have a City of Atlanta supplier ID. How much does a City of Atlanta supplier ID cost?
Nothing.
Free. All right. Once you obtain your City of Atlanta supplier ID, then the next step for those companies that qualify is to have your business registered as a small minority female or disadvantaged business. How do you do that? Your firm must be 51% or greater owned, operated, and controlled by the ethnicity or gender category that was identified in our legal disparity study. Right now, our legal disparity study has identified the following ethnicity and gender categories. AABE stands for African American Business Enterprise. HABE stands for Hispanic American Business Enterprise. APABE stands for Asian Pacific Islander Business Enterprise. And FBE stands for Female Business Enterprises. So if your firm is 51% or greater, owned, operated, and controlled by one of those ethnic or gender categories, and you have a viable operating office located in any of the 20 Greater Atlanta Metropolitan Statistical Area counties, then you would qualify to apply for the city's EBO program. Any of them. That doesn't mean, oh, my business ain't located in Atlanta, I don't qualify. I don't care if your business in New York or Istanbul or wherever it is. As long as you have a viable operating office located somewhere in our 20 county metropolitan area, you don't have to pick up and move your world headquarters from New York. But you do have to open up a satellite office located in one of our 20 county Greater Atlanta metropolitan area counties. Now, in some cases, on a case-by-case basis, we even accept virtual offices depending upon how that outfit sets it up. Well, Larry, I don't have no brick and mortar. I don't have no money to set up no business. We certify home-based business. What's your excuse? So now, ladies and gentlemen, please hear me and please understand. The City of Atlanta is on the precipice of the most aggressive construction and development period in the history of the City of Atlanta. Right now, as I talk to you guys, We are in the throes of a $6.8 billion capital improvement project at the airport that's going out under the moniker ATL Next. In addition to that, the City of Atlanta's Watershed Department, that's the group that's responsible for clean water and wastewater sewer infrastructure, just announced a $1.22 billion capital improvement project that's going to last over the next 5 years. Has anybody noticed I've been saying B billion, not M million?
Yes.
Billions of dollars. In addition to that, we just completed the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which was $2 billion. Everybody said, well, that's over. Why are you talking about that? Well, a part of that project also included infrastructure rebuilds in the surrounding area.
Yep.
Still coming online. Did I talk about Turner Field? Those same promises. When they built that original baseball field, there were promises made to that community that there was going to be some upgrades there that for whatever reason did not occur at the rate that it was expected for them to occur. And now that that property has been transferred over to Georgia State University, that community has said, I'll be if it go down like that again. So there will be development there. Anybody heard of the Beltline?
Yes.
All right. So we just got outreach to a group that has one of the largest tracts of land associated with the Beltline, $500 million. And even though that is a partnership between private and public, and it's not directly associated with the City of Atlanta's program where I can mandatorily require it, they came to us and said, hey, we want to be good corporate citizens because we understand the value of diversity. And so that program is looking for certified minority and female-owned businesses. So what happens to your company once you have your business certified in the City of Atlanta? You go through that process, your company's name, address, phone number, and up to 4 NAICS codes that represent the business or service that you provide appears in our directory. Everybody understand what NAICS codes are? If you don't, those codes are not City of Atlanta codes. Those are national codes. North American Industry Class System. They have a code for everything that you do. If I do sheetrock for a living, there's a NAICS code for that. If I do make dog food for a living, there's an NAICS code for that. If you don't know what your NAICS codes are, we have a link to the NAICS code chart on the website so you can find out what your NAICS codes are. We allow you to register up to 4 of them. If you only do one thing, if all I do is haul dirt, I'm a dirt hauling company, I got one NAICS code, you're going to register for us with that one NAICS code. If you do 12 things, you better pick your top 4. So we'll only allow you to register up to 4 NAICS codes that represent the services that you provide. Your company's name, address, and up to 4 NAICS codes are going to appear into that directory. And so now, what kind of cachet does that have? I certified my business, I'm in the directory, I can just sit at home and magic work just gonna fall out of the sky. You still have the responsibility to market your trade, to market your business. How does that help you? All right? All of the contracting opportunities for the City of Atlanta are publicly advertised. We have to advertise them by what? By law. If it's a construction-related concern, by law, we have to advertise it for 30 days before we have a public meeting, by law. If it's a professional service, we have to advertise it by 15 days before we have a public meeting, by law. Anybody off the street can walk into our pre-bid meetings. The only thing we ask for is for you to sign your name, your phone number, and why you were interested. It's absolutely free. You can come into those pre-bid meetings, and all that is going to be is a verbal articulation of the written bid document that we put together when we put stuff out for bid. So you can sit there and hear from the dignitaries. You can hear from the user agency that needed that widget in the first place. You can hear from the bonding and insurance people that will tell you if you bid on this project, you got to have this much bonding and this much insurance. You're going to hear from the Office of Contract Compliance that says, hey, majority-owned business community, whoever bids on this project, you need to meet my minority and female-owned business participation goals as a condition of being awarded this contract. You're going to hear from the user agency that says, hey man, we're going to build this bridge. This contract is to build a bridge. In order to build this bridge, you must have 3 years of experience building bridges of this type. This bridge needs to be 35,000 feet long and 8,000 feet wide. We want to paint it number 3 green. No other green will work. It must be number 3 green. Thank you so much. So you're going to hear all the parameters of these contracting opportunities in a public forum that is 100% free for you to be there. Now, usually one of 3 things happen. You're going to get in that meeting, you're going to hear about that opportunity, you're going to be like, man, that's right down my alley. That's exactly what I do. I'm going to go after this as the prime contractor. Prime contractor means that you are the big dog. There's the direct contractual relationship between the city of Atlanta and you. You won the contract. Or you'll say, oh, that's too much. I can't do all of that. But I can certainly do the sheetrock. Or I can certainly glass, if the rock come up, bust run up. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. They need that kind of stuff.
You're correct.
Alright, when we have these new spaces, perhaps they need a new restaurant to go over here. Or maybe they don't have enough space for a full restaurant, so they want one of them little mini to-go kiosks. Things. All of that stuff goes out to public bid because this is a public entity. I know I'm beating a dead horse, but I'm trying to emphasize to you that it's not our money. Because it's not our money, the city of Atlanta's procurements have to be transparent. It has to be open for all comers. Does everybody understand that? Okay, so as I close, I talked about billions and billions of dollars. I talked about the process. I talked about the fact that we are open and available to do work. Now let me make sure that everybody understands that you do not, one more time for emphasis, you do not have to be certified to do business with the city of Atlanta. I don't want anybody to leave here thinking, well, if I'm not a minority or a female, I ain't certified, I can't do business with the city of Atlanta. The city of Atlanta is open to do business with everybody. But in order to do business with the city of Atlanta, you either have to have a supplier ID. Say it one more time. Free. Or you can participate in the city's minority and female-owned business program, or our small business program that has nothing to do with ethnicity and gender. If you're a small business, you can qualify. If you want to certify for all of it, you can certify as a minority, you can certify as a female, and you can certify as a small business, all on one application. We got all these programs. In addition, we also administer the federal program. So if we have a contract opportunity that's not paid for with city taxpayer dollars, but is paid for with federal funds, then we are mandated to administer the federal DBE program. That certification is not executed by the city of Atlanta, but it is executed by the Georgia Department of Transportation and MARTA. So anybody want to guess how much does that cost?
Free.
To certify. How much does it cost? Free 99.
Free 99.
Absolutely free. We got people walking around here saying ain't no opportunities and ain't no money. Billions of dollars every year. A free program that says just get your business registered and be able to perform. I don't want anybody to leave here thinking, well, I'm black, or I'm Hispanic, or I'm female, so I have an entitlement. You have to perform. If you have a value-add business that can perform, then there is opportunity for you with contracting opportunities in the city of Atlanta. I want to leave you with this. My mayor famously tells this story about the juxtaposition of two cities. Now, I'm not going to sit here before you and try to tell it as eloquently as he can, but the gist of it is this. So if you will get in your time machine and you will just roll it back a few hundred years, and let's take a look at the city of Birmingham, Alabama, and the city of Atlanta, Georgia. Now, Birmingham, Alabama at that time had an economy at least twice the size of Atlanta. But Birmingham, Alabama was under the leadership of a governor, George Wallace. who said segregation today, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever. Juxtapose that with the progressive leadership that's in this city and fast forward to 2017. Now, with no disrespect to our good friends in Birmingham, Alabama, the economy in the city of Atlanta is exponentially larger than Birmingham today. And so if that's not illustrative of the power of inclusiveness and the power of making sure that there's a level playing field for all comers to do business with any jurisdiction, regardless of race, religion, ethnicity, sexual preference, or what have you, I don't know a story that's more powerful. And I certainly couldn't tell it as eloquently as Mayor Reed, but it certainly pierced my heart as illustrative of the value of diversity and inclusion. And so I want to thank you so much for your time and attention. The City of Atlanta Mayor's Office of Contract Compliance is available to you Monday through Friday between the hours of 8:15 and 5 o'clock p.m. My contact number for the office is area code 404. Area code 404-330-6010. 404-330-6010. The website for the City of Atlanta is www.atlantanga.gov. If you'll go on that website, you can navigate to the Office of Contract Compliance's webpage, which will give you an overview of all the services that we provide. All of the city's procurement opportunities, whether they are goods and commodities or whether they are formal contracts, reside on that website in the Department of Procurement's page. So once you get on www.atlantanga.gov, you can go to the Department of Procurement, and all of the city's procurement opportunities, whether they're goods and commodities or formal contracts, rest on that page. I want to thank y'all this evening for your time and attention. Do not hesitate.
Thank you.